33 weeks, and I feel like I'm 33 weeks going on 40. It's been a rough week physically. I hope the coloring's okay with this. It's nighttime, and if I turn the light on more, my whole face is glowing. So I apologize if it's not good, but I didn't have time earlier to do it. So yeah, my body is aching. I have developed, which I think I finally have been able to put my finger on, is restless leg syndrome. It's like at night, like every once in a while before, my legs would burn or just really be uncomfortable and keep me up. And then it'd go away. And then this week, it's like every single night. Like after I've been in bed for about 10 or 15 minutes, I start getting these like sharp pains or tingles or burning, just discomfort. And I feel like I just have to move my legs or scratch them. And oh my word, last night was awful. I ended up having a bath probably around midnight and like taking exfoliant to them and just rubbing them and getting out of the bathtub afterwards and massaging with moisturizer just to get them to calm down. And I've been taking gravel like most nights this week just to fall asleep because I'm just so tired. And my body just won't let me sleep. So that's weird. I've never had that. Also with my stomach, it's, I guess, maybe a variation of heartburn. It's definitely not acid reflux, but it's like an air bubbles here, especially when I lie down. And I have to sit up and it just bloop comes up. Not really like a burp. It's just like an air bubble coming up. But then like 3 seconds later, there's another one and it will go on and on. It's so annoying and frustrating. And that doesn't help me sleep or rest either. So physically as well, the baby like it's head down, but it's still, like for a few days I thought it would actually not dropped, but lowered a little bit because I was so uncomfortable down below. But then today it's like it just came up again, and it's like my rib cage isn't expanding quick enough to house the baby. And you're sitting there and you're just like trying to stretch up as much as you can because there's this unbelievable pressure on your ribs, and you can't bend or do things like you normally would because your rib cage has nowhere to go. And that's a new thing for me too. I've never had that. So that was really weird, especially after having a few days of a lot of lower body discomfort and ligament pain. So I'm feeling it. I don't know if it's the third child kind of thing, or because I have to run after 2 boys and have this pregnancy, but the one way where it's better is, by 33 weeks with both my kids. Well, Zayden, I was already in the hospital by this time, in labor, and then it stopped. With Venix, I think about 31, 32, I started having like the period contractions. This baby, I haven't had any of that with. So that's a first on the good side. But the discomfort physically, like I never had it. With my other 2 kids, granted, Zayden was 34 weeks, but I never had that, oh my goodness, I'm done. I want my body back. This is so uncomfortable. I never had that. And now I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm only 33 weeks. When am I going to be at 38? Or if I make it to 40, how uncomfortable am I going to be? And it's a little bit concerning because I'm like, oh, my hips are fine. I have no swelling, no spasms. Like with Venix, my hips were going like almost like popping out. Like I'd have to stop and let them come back in. I haven't had any of that. Like I said, no swelling. Yesterday I went out with some girlfriends, like kind of like a dinner shower, really nice. And I was wearing heels, and I thought for sure by the end of the night, because my feet are just sitting down, and how it's tight around the toes. I'm like, I'm sure it's gonna have this like puff ball on the top, but nope, no swelling. fullness in the face has definitely started. Weight-wise, I'm still 13 pounds. My belly is growing a lot, so I just must be losing the other fat that I had. Oh, and this week I had an ultrasound done on the baby, and I'm really hoping it's the last one. Sorry, the baby's moving around. It's 9 o'clock at night, and this is when it gets going. At the end of the ultrasound, she's like, okay, so your doctor wants to see your cervix, so we're going to have to do an internal. And I don't know if you've ever had an internal, but I do not like them. They're very violating. Ugh. So I'm like, fine. So I hope that is it, because I don't want any more internal examinations. That's enough. But the baby, like, I won't find out the results till I go see my doctor, but I got to see the baby again, and here's a picture. As you can see, it has like some big cheeks. I don't know if it's making a face and puckering its lips, but it looks like it has really big fat cheeks, and it's a cute picture if you think the eyes are closed. But my husband looked at it and he's like, this is creepy, because when he looked at it, he saw the eyes open, and it was just like this freaky doll looking at you. So hopefully you saw it in your mind with the eyes closed, because otherwise that probably scared you. So it was, yeah, nice to see the baby again, and it'll be interesting to see if it has those big fat cheeks or not. Yeah, so I'll show you the belly. There we go. I can turn the light on. So it's the end of the day. It's 9 o'clock, and look how pointy I am right now. I'm having a Braxton Hicks contraction. Whew. Isn't that incredible? Look how pointy. So a couple days ago it looked a bit lower, but now it's gone right back up again. Move my hair. Like, oh, like right underneath my breasts. I cannot bend or hunch. Oh my word. Feeling big. Definitely have grown a lot. Sorry, I just had to dim the lights again because my belly was glowing. So getting some real good lines here now. Whew. There's the sides. So I'm feeling really big. So you can see, even though there's a lack of weight gain, I am definitely growing. So there's my glowing face. Okay, so next time I'll try to do this during the day so I'm not glowing.